Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to take a look at Rich Buddy's what I call career collection. And the reason I call it a career collection, because the way that Rich Buddy described his collection to me was in terms of his career, and it's really interesting. It's a very interesting collection when you look at it that way. So let's get started. Now, the first watch, in fact, the first two watches are Rolex Submariner dates. And the first one, the black one on the left there, this took them 12 years. You started off in your career and you work at it, and it took them to the point of quite a while. Finally, after 12 years, he had enough to get his dream watch, which is a Rolex Submariner date, and he did. And he thought, well, this will be it. So then he got bitten by the watch bug. The second one is also a Rolex Submariner date. It was called the 30, a diamond dial sports watch with a blue bezel and dial. Beautiful, beautiful watch. And it's called the Bluesy. And what he did, he gave that to himself for a reward for some success that he had in his work, which is a cool thing. When you look at a collection, you can sort of trace something within this time. It's Rich Buddy's career. Okay, moving right along. The third watch was another Submariner date called the Hulk, the green bezel and the green dial. The Incredible Hulk was all green, and this one was he lived near the beach, and so he got that because of the green in the water, and it's not exactly a beach watch, but this was because he was living near the beach at the time when he got it. Now, the fourth one is leaving Rolex for a while. Is called the Ball Storm Chaser, which is really a cool watch. It has a big glowing element in it, and this one was the telemetry scale on it. He was able to use that in some of the things that he was doing. And he wanted to use it for checking the distance of a lightning strike, which is a very good idea. I mean, you see a flash, then you have a count until you hear the thunder, and that'll tell you how far away it is. With something like the Storm Chaser, you can do it more accurately. All right. Moving along here. Now, the next one is the Rolex Batman GMT Master. This is the older one with the Oyster bracelet, 116710 BL and R. This is the older Batman, and also the GMT Master. GMT Master happened to be one I really like, and it was one of the ones I was thinking about when I was looking at the GMTs, and I ended up with a different one because I went out and bought some fairly expensive watches. Anyway, so this became as sort of like for travel and so on and so forth, travel watch. Now, the next watch is this one I like a lot. It's a Patek Philippe 5196, and this is a Calatrava, and it's used for. I mean, this is for formal dress watch, and it's a perfect formal dress watch. It really is. I have the what's it called? I think the 3468. It's an older version of the same watch, but they're wonderful watches. They're hard to beat for just about anything. They're clean, they're good looking, and yet they don't shout, hey, look at me, I'm wearing a Patek Philippe. I do that. Okay. Now, This next one is the Doxa Sea Rambler. And this one was a limited edition. It's the 59th anniversary edition. And it's got, there was limited edition to 300 of these. And there's something about Doxas I like. I know they have ETA movements, and that's fine. They don't seem to try to hide it. But there's just something about Doxas I've never quite sure. They got orange on them. Usually I like that. But it's usually more than that. This is a cool watch. This particular one was got, I guess, as part of if you have a Rolex, you don't want salt water near that. And I don't care if it's a Submariner or not. I don't care if the whole thing's made of rubber. If I had a Rolex, I wouldn't take it near salt water. But this is a good one to take with the salt water, and that was why Rich Buddy got it for that. Now then we go back to Rolex again, and this is a Rolex day date. And the interesting thing about this is a 36 millimeter, and you get about a 7¼ inch wrist on it. And that thing looks like it really fills it up. The important thing about this watch, to me it was, anyway, this, beside good looking watch, gold, very nice. That's one thing about the day dates. They are extremely nice. This one has a mother of pearl dial on it. And as I mentioned, it's 36 millimeters, but this thing wears very big. Some watches wear big, some small. This one I have on a Moser. It's big, just big watch. And this particular one, now he says he got it in 36 millimeters. And boy, I looked at that. I said, for a 7¼ inch wrist, that doesn't look much like a 36. It looks a lot bigger, but it's not. If you look at it more closely, you can see the way the bracelet is and everything. Another gorgeous watch. Moving right along now. These next two are sort of out of the sort of ordinary. One is a vintage 1950 hand wound, which I like. Universal Geneve Uni Compacts. This is a cool watch. This is it's a type of chronograph. You get your chronograph dials and so forth there. And it's like I said, it's hand wound, and it's got skeleton hands, and it's sort of an interesting one on that. You can see the pusher at 4 o'clock down there. Now the next one is a transitional Speedmaster. It's a pre-moon Speedmaster. Now by transitional, they were going from, I think, the 321. Caliber 321 to the 861, and they went from 2.5 hertz to 3 hertz. And there were some little things about this particular one that had sort of 1 foot in one and 1 foot in the other. And they didn't make a lot of these. They only made them for about 9 months, I think. And this is a really neat Speedmaster. Refer to it as the 1968 transitional 145.022.68. So that's another cool watch in there that goes along with it. Now these two, I don't know. To me, I got a kick out of this one. Both of them. On the left is a steel Daytona, a Rolex Daytona. And this is a lot of watch collectors are going to recognize here. Had no plans to get 2 Daytonas. And so he got this one, a 2004 16520 steel bezel, steel bracelet. And it's sort of like a dress Daytona, a nice looking watch. It's got all of the chronograph materials on it. And then his AD calls and says, "Hey, I got a brand new one for you, caliber 4130 movement and the 116 500 LN model. I mean, reference number on it." So he didn't want to pass that one up, so he got that one too. He ended up with two Daytonas. And I mean, it's pretty obvious that Rich Buddy loves Rolexes. And sometimes you get that. Well, gee whiz, I wouldn't want to pass that up. And the new one that he got has a ceramic bezel and comes with a rubber strap, which is more active type of Daytona. The final watch in Rich Buddy's collection is a Hoyer pocket stopwatch with a decimal timer. And the reason it has a decimal timer, it doesn't go from 0 to 60, it goes from 0 to 100. And this is used in the Olympics. It's the timer on that. So I thought it was it's sort of an interesting watch, real interesting one to put it in a collection. It's somewhat of a vintage timer. It's in great shape, though. It's a very, very cool pocket watch with it. Well, this is Rich Buddy's collection, and I think it talks about your career, but sometimes your watch collection doesn't always follow exactly like the dual Daytonas. And some of the other times you get, you're minding your own business, and all of a sudden something really good comes in your way, and you say, "Oh man, I got to have that," and you get it. And this is part of watch collection, but it was also sort of follow the career of Rich Buddy as he developed it. Anyway, love to hear your suggestions. Now, he has a couple that are on order. He's got a Patek Aquanaut, and those things take a while. It's got about 2 years on that one. And then he has a Rolex Pepsi GMT on the Jubilee bracelet. That's another one that he's waiting for. And then he's got about a 6-year wait for an FP Journe Chronomat Blue. So he's got, those are what he has in the hopper right now. I would, for my recommendation, I'd recommend something sort of out of the ordinary. H. Mosers are wonderful watches and wonderful buys. They look very different than anything Rich Buddy has, but it's something you might want to consider. You might not. Parmigiani, same thing. This type of watch collection, though, I think he likes to form it more in terms of the quality of certain types of watches that tend to be centered around Rolex. I think also, too, I wouldn't be surprised, Patek Philippe or even a Vacheron Constantin might be a nice addition to this collection. Anyway, really like to hear from you. I want to thank Rich Buddy for taking all the pictures and providing me with all this information. And until next Friday, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science Watch Collection. And as always, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like.